What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And once again, we're here with another treasure map preparation video, but this time we're having a look at my own personal teams. Now, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I did upload my treasure map Sugafest pulls, so you can go ahead and check those out if you guys want to go ahead and have a look. We did them live on stream, and they went reasonably well. So the characters you see in this video are obviously going to be some of the characters that we pulled over the last few weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that. If you guys want a little bit more of a breakdown that's more accessible, go check out my accessible treasure map preparation video. Well, without further ado though, let's go ahead and jump into this, starting off with the Battle Rush bosses, and then ending with the boss and the Intrusion fight. So starting things off, we have Raizo, who is a strength unit, so you ideally want to be building around quick units here. Now, the thing is you can run whatever characters you want, they all will get cooldowns, even the Versus effect gets -5 to the effect as well, which is actually pretty cool. And on Battle 3, you get inflicted with 8 turns of despair, so instead of just dealing with that, I'm going to be using Yamato as the captain instead, completely resisting the despair, well, removing 10 turns of it at least. And then you will be inflicted with a chain coefficient reduction and an attack down based on your chain multiplier, so your chain has to exceed 1.6 in order to actually get attack boosts active. So we are going to go ahead and use Law and Kid, which will provide us with a 2.25 times chain boundary because we have a striker based captain. There's also going to be unfavorable slots, but Yamato special deals with that. We're inflicted with 3 hits of hunger, which is why I have Kizuna Boa on the team. That's the only reason why she's here, is because she's a character that can give us the ability to remove hunger. Alternatively, you could use the quick final tap Luffy. He's also a pretty solid option as well. And there's also going to be a 3 perfect barrier, but we're just obviously going to be tapping through it. And then Treasure Map Zora is only here just to speed farm the first 2 stages so that we can reach the final stage much quicker. Moving on versus Ashura Doji. Now this team, you'll see it's kind of odd because we do have Dex, Sight, and Quick characters that receive special charge time, but with the way that this is built is that we will enable both Kaido and also Blackbeard to receive max special charge time by the time we reach the final stage. We do have the waifus on Kaido to give him -1 on stage 2, and then we have the Mr. 3 support on Blackbeard to give him -2 on stage 3. Now, this stage is kind of odd because there's just lots of weird effects that happen on this stage. So your captains are inflicted with 7 turns of bind, which is why we have Blackbeard. We're going to be using Blackbeard to remove that bind. Also, we get a full board of badly matching slots, and then for 5 turns, all type slots and tandem slots are badly matching for the crew. So we're just going to use Kaido special and just kill, because that's going to work pretty fine. Remember that the right-hand side of the crew will receive Wano slots, so Hina, being a quick unit, is going to have type advantage versus Ashura Doji here. And then we should be able to kill pretty comfortably due to Kaido's amazing special. And then what we can do is after the enemy revives, he only recovers with 1.5 million, which is actually like not that much in all honesty. So we just have a second Kaido, we use his special, and then we just kill. That's the whole idea with this team. It's not really too complex. We also have the NL on this team, which is kind of enabling us to speed farm the first 2 stages. Definitely not required, but you do need someone on your crew to remove the 7 turns of bind. Well, it ends up becoming 4 turns of bind after the sockets on your captains when you reach the first turn of the final stage. So next is going to be versus Denjiro, and this is probably the most straightforward fight because the only characters that you really need is going to be Legend Sugar as your captain, and then using the new Kizuna 5+ Doflamingo as the crewmate under that Sugar. If you run a team with that and do not run any characters with a higher cost than 40, you're going to be completely fine. If you do run characters that are exceeding the cost of 40, then you're going to have to be using Sugar's super type, ideally the level limit break super type, or I can't remember if that's the 6+ version that also gets the cooldown with her super type. Either way, Sugar turning characters into toy soldiers is what enables you to clear this stage very easily. So Sugar plus the Doflamingo is all you need. The rest of the characters are just characters that fulfill the 40 cost or lower condition, and Caesar enables us to speed farm the first 2 stages. So next versus the Kinemon fight, this is probably the most challenging fight that I think most people are going to come up against, and I would probably suggest most people out there to take on Kinemon in the mid-map every time you enter a treasure map. I just think that all of the gimmicks that this guy has, there's just no reason to just go, like, there's no real reason to put yourself through that amount of pain fighting this guy every single time with the amount of gimmicks that you have to deal with here. So just to give you guys a quick rundown, 7 turns of attack down, 7 turns of special bind, 5 turns of burn, bomb, empty block slots. You get all of your slots locked for 1 turn, and there's 4 turns of resilience, and he revives with 50% of his max HP, and he also limits the amount of specials that you can do after the revive. So yeah, Kinemon just does a lot of stupid stuff. So the way that we're getting around the 7 turns of attack down and special bind is by the Chopper and Luffy with the supports of Sabo and also the Cat Viper. With this, we have Sabo, which removes 2 turns of special bind, and then Chopper Special removes 5 turns of special bind. And then we've also got the Cat Viper, which removes 2 turns of attack down, and then Chopper removes 5 turns of attack down. So this will remove everything for us, which is kind of lucky. And then we also have the Buggy and Shanks characters, which can remove the resilience, also give us orb change, but the orb change doesn't matter because we're going to be able to access Roger's super type special to give us a full board of slots, and also Roger's special to give us the attack boost and color affinity, and it really shouldn't be that much of a problem, especially because the character is int, so Psy characters are going to be the most ideal. We're going to have really good type advantage, we're going to have maximum damage, really shouldn't be a problem, but I think most people are going to have a problem with this, and most people are going to have to opt to use Rayleigh and Gaban as a friend captain for this quest, just due to the fact that this boss just has a lot of annoying gimmicks. Then we have the final boss versus Oden, which is arguably one of the easiest, if not the easiest fight, due to the fact that the New Year's Legend Nami single-handedly deals with most of the stuff on this fight. So with this fight, you know, there's 5 turns of attack down, and then there's 5 turn resilience, 5 turn rainbow shield on stage 2, and then Nami deals with the resilience and the rainbow shield, so you just have to find a way to get around attack down. In this case, we do have the Whitey Bay, which can help us do that. And then when you reach the final stage, you get hit with 5 turns of paralysis, and if you're using Nami as a captain, she fully charges her special again, and she removes the paralysis, and then you also get hit with 1 turn of special reverse, and then you also get hit with 5 turns of damage threshold, which Nami's superclass can also get rid of. And this did come up on my stream when I was trying to build the teams, but even though we don't have a Straw Hat on the crew, as long as we use 4 specials before we attack, we're going to be able to remove the damage threshold anyway, because that will activate Nami's superclass condition. And then, of course, you know, you have Marco to get rid of the 5 turns of defense up, Rayleigh Gaban because they're a really high point boosting character, and that's pretty much it. So this team seems pretty comfortable. If you have Nami as one of your 2 captains, it's not going to be a very difficult fight, which is a really good thing to see. But then we get to the big bad boy himself, which is Izo, which is, you know, the most annoying fight that you're going to have to take on throughout the entire treasure map, really. So if we just break down battle 2 real quick, there's going to be bind to the top row and despair to the top row, 5 turn bind, 4 turn despair, and 3 turns of paralysis, as well as a full board of block slots. So Whitey Bay is very good here, because Whitey Bay gets us a full board of slots and locks them, gets rid of the 5 turns of bind and 5 turns of despair. So we just have to deal with paralysis, and luckily we have the super swap of Rayleigh and Gaban, which is just so strong. The super swap, of course, is going to be able to remove 4 turns of bind and 4 turns of paralysis. Their crewmate ability also removes 1 turn of paralysis, so either way, like, it's really simple when you have this. It's just something addition as well, is that Nami also removes 1 turn of paralysis with her crewmate ability. So realistically, you only need the normal swap, but the super swap will count here as well. And another thing that a lot of people are forgetting about is that the special of Whitey Bay says that if you have a slasher or a powerhouse captain, you get a 1.0 chain boost, and then you get a 1.2 chain boost with a clock buff in the following turn. So this is very important, because when you reach battle 3, you will have an attack down based on your chain multiplier, and you have to exceed 2.5. And normally you can use the super swap of Rayleigh and Gaban to deal with that, but luckily you can also use the clock buff of Whitey Bay in the previous turn, so that is another really good way to get around it. The thing is, though, is that you still have to deal with the special bind that occurs on battle 3. So Rayleigh and Gaban this is exactly what they're there for. Their base swap and their super swap can both deal with special bind completely, which is great. And then Marco gets rid of the increased damage taken. So tanking the 50,000 damage isn't that difficult. I mean, on top of this, we can just put Legend Brook support on Nami so that we don't have to worry about losing to that 50,000 death hit. And another thing as well is that we'll have Nami special to remove the rainbow shield and the resilience. Roger can give us an attack boost and also a full board of matching slots if we need it. Roger gives us a massive attack boost too, so it's a pretty awesome team, and I think this is probably about as optimal as I'm personally going to get, and it's actually not the highest point boosting team that I can actually build. if I'm able to squeeze Wiper on the team in some capacity, I actually can get the team to be a little bit better. But I feel like it's more comfortable to use Roger on the team rather than using Wiper, for example. But overall, this is a really fun team, and I honestly can't wait for this treasure map to start. It should be a lot of fun. So with all of that being said, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.